All right, let's talk about something really important when it comes to the food we eat. A key FDA regulation called 21 CFR Part 17. Now, I know that name sounds super technical, right? But what it's really all about is actually pretty simple: keeping our food supply safe. So we're going to break it all down and get to what this rule really means for any company handling food. So, to really get this, you have to start with the main question the whole regulation is trying to answer. For a long, long time, food safety was all about reaction. You'd hear about a big recall after people got sick. But the thinking started to shift. What if, instead of just reacting to crises, we could actually stop them before they even start? And that's the big idea right there. And this really shows you what a massive shift in thinking this was. We went from the old clean up the mess approach to a modern prevent the mess from ever happening approach. It's a complete 180. It's no longer enough to just have a clean facility. Now you need a documented, thought-out strategy to keep things safe from the get-go. And honestly, if you get this one concept, you're halfway to understanding the whole thing. So, to build a strategy like that, where do you even begin? Well, the FDA says you start with a solid foundation. These are the absolute baseline rules that every single facility has to follow, no exceptions. They're all about creating a safe and sanitary environment right from the start. Let's dig into what that looks like. This foundation is built on something called Current Good Manufacturing Practices, or what everyone just calls cGMPs. And I love this rules of the road description because it's spot on. These are not optional guidelines. They're the non-negotiable, bare minimum standards for absolutely everything. And these rules, they cover pretty much everything you can think of. We're talking about the people, their health, their hygiene. We're talking about the building itself, the grounds outside, keeping pests out. It even covers the equipment, the plumbing, and the actual step-by-step processes for making the food. It's a total 360-degree view of what it means to be sanitary. Okay, so the cGMPs are the foundation, right? Everybody has to do those. But here's where the regulation got really innovative. It's what gets built on top of that foundation. This is the heart of it, really. Every single facility has to create its very own totally unique food safety plan. So what exactly is a food safety plan? Well, it's pretty much what it sounds like, a written strategy. But the key here is that this is not a generic checklist you can download from the internet. It is a formal, written down plan where a company has to sit down and really think, okay, with our specific ingredients and our specific equipment, what could possibly go wrong? And then they have to write down the exact steps they're going to take to prevent it. And that's why this idea of a living blueprint is so perfect. A food safety plan is absolutely not supposed to be some dusty binder that sits on a shelf. It's meant to be a dynamic, active tool, something people look at every day, something that gets updated, something that actually guides decisions on the production floor. It's a tool, not a decoration. And yeah, that blueprint has some very specific parts. You have to start with a written hazard analysis. Then you need written preventative controls. You also need procedures for monitoring everything, a plan for what to do when something goes wrong, your corrective actions, and a way to verify the whole system is working. And of course, you need a recall plan ready to go just in case. Okay, I know that sounds like a ton of stuff, right? But the good news is the regulation lays out a really clear step-by-step process for actually building and managing this plan. It's a cycle, so let's walk through it. Yeah, the best way to think about this is as a continuous loop. It's not a straight line. You analyze your hazards, you set up controls to stop them, you monitor those controls to make sure they're working, and you have a plan for when they don't. Then you verify the whole system, keep good records, and the cycle continues. It's never really done. It's about constant management. So let's zoom in on that first step, the hazard analysis. This is basically a big organized brainstorm of anything that could potentially make someone sick. And these hazards usually fall into one of three buckets. You've got biological ones, like nasty bacteria, chemical ones, maybe an undeclared allergen, and physical hazards, like a tiny piece of metal or glass. Okay, so once you've identified those potential hazards, the next step is to put in preventative controls. This is where the plan turns into real-world action. For example, if you're worried about bacteria, your control is cooking the food to a specific temperature for a specific amount of time. If you're worried about allergens, your control is how you label things and how you keep ingredients separate. All right, so we've talked about what this plan is and how you build it. But now let's get to the really big question, why? Why is all of this so critical? Well, because the stakes couldn't be higher. When you boil it all down, it comes down to one thing: protecting public health.
That's it. Every single part of this regulation, every rule, every required document, it's all there for one reason: to stop people from getting sick from the food they eat. That is priority number one. Full stop. And if a company doesn't comply, well, it puts pretty much everything on the line. The consequences are serious, and they hit on multiple levels. First, and most importantly, you're risking people's health. But it doesn't stop there. Think about the business impact. We're talking huge product recalls, a brand's reputation getting destroyed overnight, and customers losing all trust in you. And on top of all that, you have the FDA, which can issue anything from a warning letter to literally shutting down your entire operation. And that just brings us right back to where we started, doesn't it? This quote really nails the whole philosophy here. The point isn't to get really good at handling a crisis. The point is to build such a solid preventative system that you almost never have a crisis to handle in the first place. So, I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. When you look at safety, are you focused on the rearview mirror, reacting to things that have already gone wrong? Or are you looking at the road ahead, trying to anticipate and prevent the problems before they happen? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.
If you found this helpful or want to stay updated when this regulation changes, subscribe and support the channel. And if you need the full technical details on this CFR, click the link in the description below. See you next time.